Hey guys, welcome to the Q&A nobody asked for, but you're gonna get anyway because I feel like it's important. Hello Slay Bays, how are you? Thank you for returning. If you have clicked on this video, make sure to leave me a comment down below to let me know if you found this helpful. If you are new here, hello, hi, my name is Talia and I currently work as a house counsel legal assistant for a large insurance company here in the state of Florida. My content consists of work weeks in my life to show you realistically what it looks like as a legal assistant working from home, as well as paralegal legal assistant content, helpful tips and tricks to the trade. If you're interested in that type of content, make sure to stick around by hitting the subscribe button and making sure your notifications are on so you never miss when I post. Today I am coming to you guys with the paralegal Q&A nobody asked me for, but I felt was important from the comments that I have been getting recently, the Instagram messages, and a few emails. So I'm going to be answering some questions and maybe hopefully clearing up a couple of things in the field for you guys. So the very first question that I usually get is what inspired me to be a paralegal or go into the paralegal field or the legal assistant field. And if you guys are new in the field, paralegals and legal assistant in a lot of firms do different roles, but in a corporate settings, those words can be used together. For example, my current title is legal assistant. However, I draft and file pleadings. I prepare discovery and file discovery and follow up on discovery. I contact clients and all of those type of things. So that's why you see me interchange the word paralegal and legal assistant, but I don't want to misrepresent myself. My current title is legal assistant, but I do the same job roles as I currently do the same job roles as a paralegal. Now that that is clear, back to that first question. What made me decide to jump into the role of paralegal or legal? I wasn't one of those type of people that wanted to be a multitude of things in my life, and it changed as I changed and grew into who I was going to be. I only ever wanted to be 4 things in my entire life. And I am still to this day working towards most of them. And once I got to middle school, attorney is what stuck with me through and through. The more reading I did in the field of attorneyhood, the more research I did, it was like, oh yeah, this is me all of the way. This is what I want to do. This is for me. This is what I want to do. This is who I'm supposed to be. And during different points in my life, the Lord actually confirmed that that is what I was supposed to be and who I was supposed to become. But life did, it did its job, okay? So my ultimate goal is not to remain as a paralegal. I'm just so passionate about paralegals because I genuinely like the field. And I feel like it is going to help me be an excellent attorney in my working history. Working as a paralegal or working as a legal assistant, you begin to pick up on things, and I learned things that I was not going to learn in law school. And so that is one of the main reasons why I decided to change my political science major and go full force in changing my major to paralegal studies and finishing my degree work in paralegal studies, because it gave me benefits that I was not going to get in law school. For example, and like I said, I'm not an attorney, so I can't speak for an attorney, but as a paralegal, I was able to intern in different areas of the law to kind of see what I liked. you watch Law and Order, or you watch detective shows or forensic shows, and you think, oh, I need to be a criminal attorney, or oh, I need to be in some realm of that, and then you intern or get, you know, insight into that realm, and it's like, girl, I don't think so. I have went into an intern and took a class in probate law, was not for me. Real estate law, it was okay. But I'm not sure if that is for me. You know, you're just able to kind of bounce around to see what you like more. And that was maybe number 2 of the biggest reason why I wanted to pursue that. The main reason I wanted to pursue being a paralegal was to learn the legal jargon and to learn the research and writing portion. These are not typical things that you learn in law school, and I have sat and seen panels of attorneys say the things that you guys are learning in this program, they don't teach you in law school. You have to figure it out. Even on the business aspect of it, we took a lot of business classes during my paralegal program as electives, and it was my choice. But we also took law office management, and so you learn how to manage an actual law office, including software and things like that. That's not something that they're teaching in law school. So it really, to me, it is going to put me ahead of the game when I ultimately become an attorney, and I think it's going to make me more of a compassionate attorney as well. So and it just makes me a better, I feel like it's just going to help me overall. But the number 1 reason why I decided to go into it was because I was very interested in it, and it taught me things that I knew I would be able to, it taught me tangible skills that I knew that I would be able to use in law school and in the field. So that is the number 1 question that I usually get, so I wanted to answer that, even though it was lengthy. The number 1, the main question that I often get from people that are reaching out to me is, hey, I want to be a paralegal because I like the law. Red flag. Red flag. I like the law. I've always been interested in the law is not a good reason to become a paralegal, especially if you're considering paying for a program or changing your major and finishing out school wise that way. I've always been interested in the law. I've always found it interesting. I like the law is not a good enough reason. You have got to have passion and commitment, because what is going, and here's why I say that. Some people, and I have seen this in my own program, they got into the field and they went back. There was a young lady, I'll never forget this. She actually, what did she do? She had paralegal jobs, but her original field was not the legal field anyway. I forget what she did. She did the paralegal program with myself, and she started getting jobs and things like that, and she realized, I hate this, I don't even like this. But she was too far into the program. It didn't make sense for her to change, because it would have added additional time to how long it would take her to graduate. So she ended up finishing it, and don't y'all know, she then went back to get her certification and becoming a mediator. So I say that to say, be very cautious when you're doing that kind of thing, when you're seeking out any field. This is just not the paralegal field. I found this interesting, or I like the law, is too general to throw your money at it. And another thing that I would hope that you do, and I hope that you learn from my channel continuously, because I always say this and I'll continue to say this, stop looking at titles, okay? The legal field, there is such a large gamut in the legal field that I like the law is too broad to even say, okay, I got to become a paralegal. You have to have a passion for what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. And I would hate for you to get into the field and realize this ain't what I thought this was, and now you feel like you're stuck, or now you're going through another program or another something. Don't do that to yourself. If you are interested in the law or you're considering becoming a paralegal, make sure you research and make sure you reach out to people that are in the field already to see if they would speak with you or maybe help give you better insight on how the field actually is. That was something that I did, and I wasn't scared, so I said, okay, I'm on the same track here, right? But the legal field is such a huge, broad type of field. I think that people they hone in on paralegal, legal assistant, attorney, and there's so many other things. You could be a process server, and guess what? You're in the legal field. You can be a mediator. You're in the legal field. You could be a court reporter in the legal field. You could be a court clerk in the legal field. There are so many different things. You can be a grant writer for legal people. You could be people that help copywriters. There's just so many things that you can do in the legal field that doesn't necessarily say paralegal or legal assistant. So I get that question all the time. I get emails about that pretty often. And that is, I have a standard answer now. What does that mean? I need to understand what that means, because maybe you like the law, but you're a networking person. You can create a whole network of attorneys and match those attorneys with legal assistants or paralegals or admins or things like that. You can be a non-party. We have a job role at my job. They're called non-party assistants, and all they do all day are non-party production. We have admin assistants that work with attorneys. They're in the legal field. So it just depends on what you really want to do. But I would caution you to stay away from that. Well, I thought it would be good because I always was interested in the law. I always liked the law. That's too small. You're thinking too small. Think broader. Think outside of the box, okay? The realities of pay. Girl, first of all, let me thank y'all for running up my how much I make as a paralegal videos. I appreciate the love, the support. I appreciate the camaraderie in the comments. I appreciate all of that. But the realities of pay as a paralegal or legal assistant, baby, it don't always pan out. And I'm learning, especially in the state of Florida, especially in my area of Florida. I don't want to speak for the whole state, excuse me. Especially in my area of Florida, baby, experience is king. When you have the experience, you can bargain, okay? So I had to kind of go through on the low end. I had to start where I could start so I can get the experience, and my pay has slowly climbed up from there. But experience is king, and the women that I work with now, some of them don't have paralegal degrees, they don't have paralegal certificates, but they've been in the field 15, 20 years, and they're making good money, honey. It also depends on the area of law that you're in. And people always think, I just have this paralegal degree, it doesn't matter where I go, I'm gonna make money. No, girl, that's no. Immediately no. Immediately no. That is not always the case. That is not always the case. So I would caution you to make sure that while you're in school, you are loading yourself up with classes and being strategic with your electives to make sure that you are marketable in these law firms. Make sure you're coming with a skill set that's going to set you apart so you can negotiate that good salary. But the reality is sometimes you have to start at a low salary, but you make a plan. Okay, if you're going to sacrifice making a low salary, you make a plan, okay? I made a plan, okay? I said, I'm not going to be making this next year. I ain't going to be struggling with y'all forever. It's not going to happen for you. And that is what I did. You have to go in. Don't just mindlessly be, you know, going and doing things. Make a strategic plan, girl, and work your plan, okay? That brings me to my next point that I get often. Experience versus schooling. A lot of people ask me, well, did you find that it was more helpful that your experience helped you or that your schooling helped you? And I'm going to be honest, so far from what I have found, experience is king, like I just said. Schooling helped me get into interviews. Schooling helped me get into doors that I don't think without that schooling I would have gotten into, like at some of these larger law firms. But when they go over, oh, your experience is only here, your experience is only here, you start to get that, yeah. And I'm sure there are resume gurus and career gurus that can help you fill in those blanks. I am not that girl, so I don't know, but I would research that if you're concerned about that. But two, from my personal experience, experience is king. Even if you have 2 years of experience, you could do something. Okay, because that's what I have, two years without internships too. And I was able to do a little something. Now, jumping law types, I get questions and people say, how do I know what type of law that I like? This is what I was saying earlier. Because everyone's paralegal programs are different. Every college that even offers paralegal as a major or minor, everybody's thing is different. What I would say is, if you have not chosen your paralegal program, make sure you're choosing a paralegal program that is, 1, ABA certified, and 2, offers a good variety of electives and classes, because that is how I was able to kind of dive in and see what I liked and what I knew for sure I didn't like. Okay, I knew for sure I did not like wills and trust. Okay, because it takes one damn comma and one missed semicolon and your inheritance is gone. Who's gonna do that? Not me. I knew for sure that I did have interest in contracts. I was actually better at it than I thought I was going to be. But baby, it's intense. Okay, so do I want to do that long term? I don't know. But I at least knew that I could put that in my maybe column. So I say all of that to say, make sure that while you're in school, that you are strategically aligning yourself and strategically using your time. Because school, and this is my notebook, so excuse this, but I got to talk with my hands on this one, because people waste time in school. How do you waste time in school? You're paying for services that you're not using. You're already sacrificing the time, but you're not utilizing all the time. You've already sacrificed your summers, your evenings, or your daytimes, however you're doing your school. Utilize all of that time. Suck every minute of it, because when you're paying for it, right? And so instead of having a hot girl summer, get yourself in an internship. It doesn't even have to last the whole summer, but get yourself an internship every summer or every spring break if you have that time. Here is why. You can actually get into the field and be gaining experience, figuring out if you even like this, because you're gonna learn. Doesn't matter where you're at, you're going to learn. You're going to see how things work. So you're gonna be able to say, I don't like that, or I don't think that's for me. And 3, you're gonna all that time is gonna add up when you have to do your capstone class and need to be 180 hours in at the end of the semester. But strategically use your school time to not only be doing electives that offer you, again, I took constitutional law as an elective, honey, and it wasn't bad, but I'm not sure if I want to be a constitutional attorney or those type of things. So strategically use your electives and strategically use your off time. The next question that I get often, or I feel like should be talked about.
I have lots of ideas to fill your day. Let's narrow them down. Would you like?
Okay, like I was saying, the next thing that I think should be asked more often, and that I have been asked around, is how to maximize your school experience. Well, I'm so glad you asked, because I think what people don't talk about, which maybe they don't know, or maybe they just don't think about it, but the best way, still trying to fix these angles, you guys, the best way to maximize your school experience is make sure that you are involved in every aspect of it. Don't just get the list of classes and take that list of classes. Make sure that you have a strategy. I'm sure you guys have heard, you get in it what you get out of it what you put in it. And that goes for anything in life, not just school, not just work, not just exercise, not just anything. That goes for anything. That can be applied to anything in life, because that is just how it is. I think that what is most important when you're strategizing, again, in this field, is making sure you're taking classes that, one, interest you so that you can stay engaged and keep your grades high. Two, making sure that you're utilizing your off time to do things like intern or pick up additional skills that's going to make you employable post degree. Three, utilizing your electives to build your skills and or strengthen skills that you don't feel like you have. I took an additional research and writing class as an elective because the first go round I didn't feel like it was very strong. I'm a good writer, but my grammar wasn't really good. I really wasn't good at search strings and things like that. So I wanted to strengthen that. So I took that as an elective. I think I was telling you guys I took constitutional law as an elective because I wanted to see if that would be an area of law that I would be interested in pursuing or working in. And it was okay. It was okay, but it's definitely something that I think should be a requirement because there's a lot of things in the Constitution, girl, who knew? Okay, who knew? But school is meant for you to learn and gain the school. Another thing of maximizing your time is maximizing the benefits. Our school in particular, and I kick myself because I wish that I would have taken this advice when I was going. They had so many programs. They had a program where they would take your LinkedIn profile picture. A professional photographer took your LinkedIn profile picture so you didn't have a janky profile picture that was in your car or in this bad lighting in my room, you know what I mean? And they even offered clothes for you to take that day. So if you didn't have a professional suit, they had a whole program of people that donated professional attire so that you could take that picture. Our campus also had a what is it called? We had this job listing board that listed jobs at all different levels: intermediate, advanced, advanced, beginner, all type of roles. They had internship opportunities that I have never seen outside of that job board, and we had a lot of networking things, which brings me to so utilize all of those benefits in school because your tuition is paying for it, sis. Use that daggone library. Print that stuff for free if they offer it. Mine did. Utilize the benefits that your campus offers because you're paying for it. You might as well enjoy it. Now, if you were like me, it could be hard to get into those things because I was an evening student. But I want to encourage you guys, do not be ashamed or afraid to utilize your resources and speak with your dean. Another way to maximize your time while you're in school is getting to know every working part. I knew who to call. Girl, let me tell you what I did. I knew who my dean was. I knew how to contact my dean. I knew who my dean's assistant was and how to contact him, and he ended up helping your girl out in a pinch. I was the one constantly going. Even if I knew how to do my schedule, I still went to the scheduling people, the school counselor, every semester like clockwork. I still made time to go into the people that did your FAFSA and make sure I filled out everything correctly. They had everything that they needed. I did all of that, and I just kept doing it. And so I knew who to go to when some things went left. I made sure to, a lot of our adjunct professors were actually attorneys, so I made sure to ask questions. Utilize that time because I didn't have a lot of time to network, but the network that I did do, it helped your girl in a lot of instances. Okay. So that brings me to my next fact: networking. It is so important. I know you guys, it doesn't matter what state you're in, what county, everyone is always going to tell you the legal field here is so small. You just want to be careful and be mindful and blah, blah, blah. And that is true. So take advantage of the networking that you can do as a student. Reach out to these people. It can be intimidating, but those are your peers. Right? And even if you you never know, once you get in the job market, they may keep you in mind for reaching out. My professor kept me in mind for a job because of how I conducted myself in class, because I reached out, and she actually saved my ASS when it came time to do my internship for my capstone class at the end, and allowed me to do my internship in the evenings when she wasn't open and on the weekends when she wasn't there. And I got that opportunity because of networking. I wish that I had time, or I prioritized my time more to network and show up to different networking events. It is so important. Join safe Facebook communities, join communities that put you in contact with different people from all kinds of places, because you never know. You may move, and because you've networked so well, you may have met someone in Texas and now you have a plug in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So do your best to prioritize, whether you're shy, whether you don't feel like you're good at speaking to people. All it takes is a, hey, my name is, I'm new here, I'm a student, I'm reaching out because I'm a student and I would love to speak with an attorney to get a better grasp on this industry. Do you have 10 minutes? Do you have 15 minutes? Do you have, or do you know someone? Like, network, because a lot of the times the people that you network with, they're the people that have their first-hand pulse on the jobs that are not being posted, the positions that are not. A girl that's in my department got this job because her other friend was in here and said, girl, they about to post this position, I'm gonna send you the link. So I say all that to say, make sure that you're prioritizing networking, because it is so important. You'll never stop networking, whether you're doing it online or in person. Networking is important, and it is a necessity. A lot of different cities, I've heard, and I don't know this for sure because I've never lived there, but I had a acquaintance that was in Atlanta, and she said, girl, it's about who you know, not what you know. The next question that I wasn't asked, but I feel like should be covered, is what do you do when you're fresh out of school and you don't have any job prospects? Don't panic, okay? Don't panic and begin to look outside the box. Y'all gonna hear me say it until I'm blue in the face, because a lot of people get hung up on titles. Look at the job descriptions, okay? Look at the job descriptions. I did not have a job. I had actually lost my job of 5.5 years when I graduated, a month before I graduated, literally a month to the day before I graduated. And I did not have a job lined up, and I panicked, and I ended up putting myself, the Lord was trying to tell me to rest, because my job role was getting ready to change, and because I panicked and went outside of that, I ended up in a role that was terrible. It's still top 2 worst places I've ever worked in my life, and I've worked in retail. I've cleaned buildings. I have done Amazon. I've done a lot of things, and that's still like top 2 worst places I was ever at. It was just so terrible, and it's because I panicked and I just felt like I needed to do something. And it was a help because I was getting experience, but it was also a hindrance because I wasn't getting experience in the field that I wanted to be in. It just worked out, ended up working out. The Lord ended up working that out for my good. But when you're fresh out of school, I know it can be hard. If you're still working and you're fresh out of school and you're ready for that career change, don't panic, calm down, and make sure that it's a good fit for you, because you may jump out of your company into something that doesn't have the same benefits as your company, and you could have stayed at your company and just transitioned there doing something else that doesn't necessarily have the title paralegal or legal assistant, right? So don't panic. It's going to be okay. You are going to find something. But when you're fresh out, take a time to, what I wish that I would have did fresh out of school, that was a terrible year, first of all. But because I was in such a panic, I robbed myself of the victory of finishing that degree. I finished 3 degrees in 2.5 years. I finished 3 degrees in 2.5 years. And because I was in such a panic about what was going on and everything, and I allowed everything that was happening around me to, you know, to influence me in such a way, I robbed myself of the joy and the victory of the moment of being able to celebrate such a momentous milestone. So do not do that, and remember, it's going to be okay. There is a place for you somewhere, but don't panic, okay? And don't look at the things that you don't have, and please don't panic, because it will put you in a situation that you wish you wasn't in. So don't panic, okay? It's gonna be okay. Small firms versus large firms. Y'all know I'm not a big fan of small firms based off of what I've gone through. Not all small firms are bad. I have not worked in all of them. But make sure that you weigh the pros and cons. And during your interview process, make sure that you're asking questions, asking open-ended questions that will hint you to the company culture, company standard, company morals, okay? And make sure that you're weighing the pros and cons in your own personal self. You're interviewing them as well, and I know that's a cliche, and I know a lot of people say that all the time, but it's actually true. You're ultimately going to be working here. You're going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that it's a good fit for you. So small firm versus large firm. I would say large corporate firms are my preference, and I have talked about this previously. I like a structure. That is just me. That is just how I prefer it. But I actually have worked in my current role in tangent with a large firm, and I was like, okay, not y'all got it together over there. That's cute. You know what I'm saying? So what I would say is, small firm versus large firm, just make sure you're weighing what's important to you. I would not have went to a small firm had it like clicked, and like I said, I panicked. So had it clicked in my mind like they are claiming that they didn't have the budget to pay me this amount that I requested. They had to start me here, but there was potential for growth. There was no growth. There was nowhere else to go. And I lost my benefits, which I didn't, it wasn't that super big of a deal because there wasn't anything. I'm overall healthy, so there was nothing that I had to come out of pocket, you know what I'm saying, and pay. Oh, except when I had gotten, now that's not true, because when I had, see, that's not true, but it wasn't crazy expensive. So, but had I had insurance like I did before, girl, it would have been popping on them. But so I would say, make sure when you're considering small firm versus large firm, weigh all of the pros and cons and make sure it's a right fit for you in the lifestyle that not only you're currently in, but that you're currently trying to get to. Very important. Had I weighed just that, the lifestyle, the life that I'm trying to lead, and the life, my camera cut off, and the life that I'm trying to build, I would not have accepted that position. No. The last and final thing that I think that should be asked more often is work-life balance. So if you know anything about my community here on YouTube or the community that I'm trying to build over on Instagram, I'm a really big person in prioritizing balance. And here's what I've learned thus far. Balance, it may not even be real. Balance may not even be a real thing. However, prioritizing your time and what's important is, and in turn, that is your balance. It is super duper important for you to set boundaries in order to get to something that resembles balance. For example, I do not come in earlier than my shift unless there's something pressing that I need to do. I do not stay late after my shift unless there is something pressing that I need to do or file. That is the boundary that I have set for myself, because I have learned that overworking yourself helps no one. Over giving yourself to reach someone else's goal and leaving no time for you to reach your own goals and ambition helps no, it doesn't help you. Right? So you're spending 40, 50, 60 hours a week at this job. And when it comes to work-life balance, I believe that it is possible through setting boundaries and having a strategic plan. It doesn't always shake out like that, right? You could be getting ready for trial or getting ready for a large client, and they're needing you to do more and stay longer and work longer and all of those things. And I feel like that is okay, as long as you don't drop the ball when you get home on working toward your dreams, your goal, your aspirations, your business, whatever it is that you have. And I would encourage you to have something for yourself. I am learning that lesson the hard way, because I'm the type of person that throws myself into whatever someone else is doing because it's easier to focus on their stuff than mine. And that is not good. Make sure you have something for yourself and you're working on something towards yourself, for yourself. So work-life balance is super duper important. I cannot give you all the tools on how to obtain it, but I do know for sure that it starts with setting boundaries and making those boundaries known. And you don't have to be rude, and it doesn't have to be some crazy boundaries like, girl, I can't work past 4:30 every other. No, you can compromise and say, hey, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I like taking that Pilates class at 5 o'clock, I can't work past 4:30 on those days, but I can work on these days. You know what I'm saying? But work-life balance is important. It's something that I'm starting to prioritize, and I know for a fact that it starts with boundaries. Okay? If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I super appreciate all of the support. Please drop down in the comments and leave a little bit of sunshine in lieu of a tip, trick of the trade, or something that you have found helpful in your work-life balance, or on any of the other things that I covered in this video. You guys be blessed, be well. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.